Let's get you ready for war with the 3 best Town Hall 13 attacks that you will want to use right now. Let's start things off simple with the Super Witch Smash. Yes, you can use this at Town Hall 13. Similar to Town Hall 12, Super Witches underneath healers are pretty much invincible. The typical base plan for this is you are using the Warden Walk with 6 lightning spells and 1 earthquake on one side. Now on the other side, you're going to be using your Barbarian King and the Siege Barrack. You can bring in the use of a Flame Flinger. This is a smash attack, so this is a good choice as well. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that or you don't have a Town Hall 14 in your clan, the Siege Barrack is great. You will also want to make sure that you've got the Royal Champion going on the same side on the interior. You've got these Super Witches though to go in between your 2 funnels and actually work themselves through. And since underneath healers they can't die, it makes them incredibly powerful. But also let's not forget the army comp with the CC, which you'll see on screen here. So first, you'll want to start with the Warden Walk. Start with the Grand Warden in a safe area. As long as there are no 3 to 4 point defenses, you should be a-okay. You're going to use the 6 lightning and 1 earthquake spell to remove something like an Inferno and Scattershot. Now, in terms of this, you should also speed up your Grand Warden, so you'll want to use things like Sneaky Goblins or even Baby Dragons. It really helps speed up that Warden, since you don't want him to have a nice stroll on the other side of the base. So make sure you correct where he's going to be leaning towards, so that way you can lure him over easily and start pushing into the base. Now on the other side of the funnel, you've got the Siege Machine and the Barbarian King. If you're using the Siege Barrack with the Barbarian King, I'd highly recommend bringing in Wall Breakers or Super Wall Breakers in order to get him into the base, clear some interior structures, and make it a lot easier. The Siege Barrack is just going to pretty much spawn troops and really provide a great funnel. Now you've got the Super Witches to move into the base, and this is incredibly important. Make sure that you use them near the Warden so he gets lured over and follows them. The healers should switch onto your Super Witches as they move through. You should use a rage spell early on. This provides a lot of support as you move yourself in with the use of those Super Witches. You can use a jump spell on the back end, and on an island base, this can really work well, but otherwise I'd bring 1 or 2 jump spells. So you'll want to use the Royal Champion on the other side. This can clear an entire island compartment as long as it's not a single Inferno. Outside of that, you'll have Hog Riders from your clan castle to easily provide more support. So even if she dies, she can get a good amount of value and let the Hogs finish the rest of it. Outside of that, this will get you a really comfortable 3-star here at Town Hall 13. For the second army you want to show you is the Hybrid Attack, one of the most consistent and strong options here at Town Hall 13. The typical base plan is funneling out one side with the use of the Siege Barrack, another side using the Queen to go in for the enemy clan castle and other structures, and then sending in your Hybrid in between your 2 funnels through the base. But also let's not forget the army comp with the CC, which you'll see on screen here. First things first, let's start with the Queen Charge. You are always using this to go in for the enemy clan castle. Outside of that, you should always try to get some value. Something like the Eagle Artillery and Scattershots are great as an example. This means that you might need to invest a little bit more into your Queen Charge. Keep in mind that this could actually go wrong and your Queen doesn't go into the core. So you will need to find a way to fix this up, which can easily be done with the use of the King and the Siege Barrack. So you can use either the Siege Barrack alone or using the Barbarian King alongside this. Typically, against a ring base, you should probably use the Barbarian King to funnel your Archer Queen by making sure that he goes in the opposite direction of the healers. However, you also want to use the Siege Barrack in order to create the funnel for your Hybrid, which makes it a lot easier. Next up is your Hybrid, and you're pretty much using your Hogs, Miners, Warden, and Royal Champion going into the base. This should be sandwiched between your 2 funnels, whether you planned it or you had to adjust on the fly. That way what you're able to do is go for the core. You should use a heal spell early on with a Grand Warden ability towards the Town Hall and using another heal spell later on. Outside of that, the Royal Champion is there to add damage and provide a lot of support. You can also bring in the use of the rage spells to provide support for your hogs and miners since they synergize very well with it. And our third and final army is the Queen Charge Lalo, being one of the most flexible and literally the best attack in Clash of Clans. Typically, how you want to do this is you are always looking for the enemy queen, royal champion, and enemy clan castle. If they're close together, you might want to go in for all three of them. The Queen Charge to go in for those three key objectives: the Queen, Royal Champion, and the Clan Castle. You can use your Royal Champion to clear out something such as a Eagle Artillery compartment, and it makes it a lot easier when you want to get more value. Outside of this, the siege machine of your choice really comes down to your personal preference. In certain cases, such as an island base, the Flame Flinger can be used to remove the Town Hall, and this could net you tons of value because you can get rid of a good amount of the air defenses and have a very minimal part left for the lava loon portion. But also, let's not forget the army comp with the CC, which you'll see on screen here. So first things first, you're going to start with the Queen Charge. Use the Barbarian King away from the healers. The king will work his way down, clearing buildings, but you also want to create the funnel for your Archer Queen. So bring in the use of a couple sneaky goblins, which will really help. Outside of this, you just want to make sure that your queen is going in for the enemy CC, the enemy queen, and the enemy royal champion. In some cases, you might have them very close together, which could net you a ton of great value. So you just want to think about those things while you're using this attack. Now, just a little bit over from where you would actually start your Queen Charge is where you want to send your Royal Champion in. You don't want the healers to switch onto the Royal Champion. More or less, you just want to make sure that the Royal Champion is getting value. So if you're able to remove something like the Eagle Artillery, that can net you huge value, especially if she is by herself. Be very careful though of single target Infernos that will crush your Royal Champion if left ignored. Now this is where you can also use the Flame Flinger. This tends to work incredibly well against island bases. You mostly really want to use this to remove the Town Hall, scatter, or single or multi-target Inferno. It's incredibly good. Just make sure that you bring in some other troops that can help clean up the non-defensive structures behind it. However, you might also want to consider using the Stone Slammer if you don't necessarily need to funnel out one side. And then it's time for your Lava Loon, and you're pretty much going to look at the final couple air defenses that are remaining. This will help you navigate where you should send in your Lava Hound. You'll send the Grand Warden in with the use of the balloons, and then any other balloons that you have left is really just going to be used to funnel your current balloons and try to get everything to be packed up for a great balloon parade. You've got the haste spells that you can use to get to the wizard towers, any multi-infernos, air defenses, expos, and even the scatter shots are all going to be things that you really want to pay very close attention to. Outside of that, you should freeze those structures as well. Otherwise, you should be able to get a really nice amount of value. Just make sure that you are cleaning up with the minions and the lava pups. Unfortunately, you might find a tornado trap and they might all be sent to the Shadow Realm, so just be very careful on that, but this will get you a simple 3-star. If you want to see more top 3 Town Hall 13s, I'd highly recommend checking out this video right here. And I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.